Brian, when you built your rotation in 2011, Freddie Garcia and Bartolo Colon were very important pieces for you that at the beginning of the season, I'm not sure people thought they would end up giving you as much as they did. As you build a rotation for 2012, who do you see as the important pieces for you?
Well, it starts with CC Sabathia at the #1 spot and works from there. Obviously, we have, you know, A.J. Burnett, Nova, who emerged, Phil Hughes, you know, who had an injury-plagued season. Hector Noesi will transition into the rotation where, you know, that's where he's been his whole career. We have some kids knocking on the door, and Phelps and Warren and Betanzas and Banuelos, but I need to reinforce with innings. You know, Freddie Garcia, Bartolo Colon both did great jobs for us, and the capacities they're free agents now, whether we retain them or try to retain them or find something else in the marketplace. But I need to reinforce and provide more innings than just the names that we have under control right now.
Brian, Phil Hughes had an unsatisfying year last year, the arm fatigue and then coming back and not being the pitcher he was when he won 18 games the year before. Do you see him as a guy whose future is in the rotation, or could he be a guy who switches to the bullpen?
Rotation. He's a starter. And I think that I look forward to Phil Hughes reinforcing all the good qualities that our fan base have been excited about, you know, reinforcing those beliefs in 2012, because 2011 is not what he wanted, not what we wanted, and he is better than that, and he knows that.
Another guy you probably feel that way about is Burnett. You said that he gave you innings, but they weren't the innings of effectiveness and quality that the Yankees wanted. Can you sit here and say to yourself, in 2012, I think we're getting a much better A.J. Burnett?
As long as he's committed and he's working hard, I'm not going to give up on A.J. I believe in him, and I've seen what he's capable of doing, and we just got to continue together, find a way to extract that from him.
When you go into the offseason with a checklist, I'm sure starting rotation is right there. What are the other things on that list of things you'd like to get done in the offseason? Is a second lefty reliever on that list? Bench strength, trying to shore up the bench? Because when you look around position players, you're pretty much full at every position.
Yeah, offensively we're fine. Our everyday players are great. No issue there. No feel that there is some need to improve in any aspect. Bench obviously is something we're going to have to look at. You know, we do have internal people that, you know, have continued to emerge and solidify for us, like the Nunez's. But obviously what we do, what Eric Chavez and Andrew Jones provided last year, you know, that was fantastic. Those guys did a great job for us. They're free agents. So, you know, the bench is incomplete. So I'd say our starting pitching, another left-hander for the bullpen, and the bench is the area of focus.
One of the guys who played well off the bench for you, in fact, started a lot because of injuries, was Eduardo Nunez. In 2012, do the Yankees have to figure out a way to make sure he gets X amount of at-bats? Kind of brings a different feel to your lineup, and with some aging players on the left side of the infield, maybe Nunez gets more playing time that isn't contingent on guys getting injured?
I mean, he's an everyday shortstop, I think, you know, if ever given the opportunity. You know, he has to continue to improve on his defense, but the only way to do that is play every day. But in the meantime, because of athleticism, because his no fear, because of the quality of the bat, you know, he can play the infield in all aspects. He can play the outfield in all aspects.
You've mentioned Russell Martin a lot during the season and even now in the offseason, how impressed you were with what he did for the Yankees. What did he bring to the Yankees in terms of defense and leadership and even offense? He gave you a lot of power that he hadn't given in his last couple of years with the Dodgers.
I tell you what, I'm a big fan of this guy, you know, and I think he had a huge impact on lowering our pitcher's ERA, you know, improving our defense behind the plate. I think our staff felt really comfortable with him, and he, you know, provides offense. He's got some pop in that bat, and, you know, questions on the injury stuff is behind him. I look forward to him having even a better year for us in 2012.
Could Martin be a guy that mentors Montero as you move Montero perhaps into a role of a backup catcher, whether it's 50 games a year or something like that?
Montero, Cervelli, Romine, all of the above. I mean, here's a guy that, you know, listen, you know, the type of player Russell Martin is the type of player I think, you know, rubs off in a positive way on all of our guys, whether you're a catcher or not. He plays the game the right way. He plays it hard. He prepares properly, you know, give you everything on the field to help you try to cross that finish line of a W after each game's over. So I think he rubs off in a positive way and mentors anybody that's watching him play the game that way. So
there's been a change in the Yankees and Red Sox rivalry in the sense that Theo Epstein, someone who you've had a friendly rivalry with over the years, left the Red Sox and is now working for the Chicago Cubs. How much different will it be for you in dealing with the Red Sox and not dealing with Theo, a guy you had gotten to know over the years?
I think there's this perception that Boston now is like team turmoil, and that's going to work to their advantage. They're not team turmoil. They are going to be a team that is going to be a contender for the World Series next year. There's no doubt about it, and we have to do everything in our power to fight them off and make sure we're better than they are, as well as Toronto, as well as Tampa Bay. This division is a nightmare, but make no excuse for those guys. They're getting some media cover now that's going to help them as they enter the process next year and have a perceived underdog position that's not real. They are very, very good, very talented. Now they're going to be very motivated, which makes them very dangerous.
It's a couple of months from spring training, and then 6 or 7 weeks after that, your first game. How much are you itching and aching to have the 2012 season start to get rid of some of the sting of what happened in 2011?
I don't want it to start until I feel good about our roster. So, as much time as that needs, hopefully, if I can get it all done today, I've done it by now. But it's going to take the whole winter to try to reinforce certain areas I think need patchwork, and but we'll see. We'll be presented with a lot of interesting things to consider this winter, and our staff will digest it, and then we'll make recommendations to ownership and take it from there. And hopefully, we'll make enough quality decisions to find a way to be the last team standing in 2012.